Can you hear me?
I sure can. What's
Hey
going
man,
on?
it's been a while. It's good.
Yeah, it has been a while.
Bro, I've
Did
seen
I
your
did
debates. You're going places.
you think?
Yeah, it's crazy. Dude, the Andrew Wilson debate? Wow.
So what it well what it well, hold on. So what did you think but I don't know, man. I think you should be careful, right? Didn't you hear Stink Dink? I mean, he made it very convincing that I'm a pretty consistent liar. You should listen to him, be very wary of me, I
I'll
guess.
I'll take that into account. I'll make sure I'm careful, okay? I'll be
Okay.
careful.
So what did you want to talk about?
Okay, so I think the last time we talked, it was a while ago, but I think the last
Mm,
time we talked, I never got your I guess your views on morality. Like, do you have any strong views on morality or anything?
I do. I do.
Okay, okay. All right, well, I'm interested. So, do you want to start with like meta ethics and then maybe go to normative?
I could just give you the whole thing.
Okay,
Give me a
yeah.
moment. I actually have it written down.
Sick, bro.
Let me see if I can find it. So, where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
Also, your relationship with Jake Rattlesnake is really funny.
Nice.
It is. It is really
Uh,
funny, dude.
that's funny. Okay. All right. So I believe that morality comes from a long evolution pathway of survival. Uh, the desire for survival is entropic. But what does that mean? Those words are not random. Entropy is a strictly mechanistic function of the universe. All matter results in one form of entropy to another, which includes all living organisms. Entropy, to place it into understandable terms, is where things go from a finite higher energy state into a lower energy state of less interaction into chaos. Think about a hot cup of coffee. Should the hot cup of coffee be in the middle of a room, eventually the cup of coffee will exude its energy out from the coffee and out into the room. The result in is that the coffee now matches the temperature of the room, and the room becomes slightly hotter. The energy is now spread out and can no longer interact. All organisms operate with this universal principle. Think if I took a single celled eukaryote, as in possesses a cell wall, a nucleus, mitochondria with cilia, little hairs that provide locomotion, and put a hot poker beside it. The hot poker exudes out energy from the hot poker through entropy. The energy touches the cell wall of the eukaryote and mechanistically begins binding to the chemicals of the cell walls, which cascade into a series of proteins that excites the motors of the cilia to cause the eukaryote to swim away. The eukaryote, as a result, never thought about survival. It has no brain to perceive the desire of survival. It never felt that it would die and then it should run away. It simply runs entirely out of mechanistic notions. I do not believe humans are much different, though, in our form of survival is much more complex due to the fact that we are a social species. However, we would just be thinking of us like the eukaryote, but with extra steps. We propagate survival by being a social species. That means we mechanistically attempt to work together and where we mechanistically desire survival. Indeed, even the suicidal person flinches when you swing your fist at them. Survival is entropic. It must happen, independent of our desire for it to happen. Our understanding of morality, while subjective, is predicated upon a desire of survival, which is chemically determined. Therefore, we create our moral understanding out of survival, and that which does not propagate survival and serves to destroy is wrong entirely off of mechanistic means.
Okay, I'm gonna take that as a position on naturalism. Would you agree or disagree?
Yes. Yes. I would agree.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so I'm interested. I don't think I would disagree so hard with you. Now, I personally don't believe that moral statements are truth apt, and I don't think you're too far away from that. Um, I think
Yeah,
that
you can't derive it as one.
based on your explanation, it sounds like you're saying that morality is mechanistic and it's utility driven. So it was evolved into us, and it was adapted into us basically mechanistically.
Mhm.
Okay, interesting. Um, do you think I could convince you that morality is Well, I mean, I guess I wouldn't have to convince you because you would just already agree that morality is part of the human experience. It's not independent from us.
Yeah. I mean, there's some like instances of proto morality across other mammals.
Right, right. I mean, like in conscious creatures, I guess, or in sentient creatures.
Yeah, I mean, like mammals are. I mean, they particularly end up being quite social, and so because that they themselves are social species, end up having like their own versions of a proto morality.
Okay, but what do you mean by proto morality? How is that different from normal
It's like a
morality?
pre morality. Like a good example is there's a study that shows if you give a rat a chance, where you give it a chance of escape and it has its friends nearby, that rat will help the other rats escape the cage.
Hmm. Here, okay, this is interesting. I would make this distinction, and I think you would almost treat these synonymously. Do you see empathy as like the basis for morality?
Um, I don't think it's the basis. I think it's a
Is it
part
part
of
of it?
morality. Yeah.
I mean, do you see another part? I don't see how there'd be another part to morality, naturalistically speaking,
Uh,
besides empathy.
Parts of morality that are not empathetic. Um, Consequence.
Wait, the consequence? Like, for
Yeah, like
example,
I mean,
like
I
you
can
said,
have
like the
empathy.
rat.
Like if like I don't know, like let's say for example that there's like a deadbeat kid that you've done everything you could to kind of instill values into the child, but I don't know, they're just spending all day playing video games or whatever, and they're like 25. There comes to like a point where you're just like, okay, I think I got to kick them out because it's better for them to do so.
So, like,
You'd probably be pretty
rationality takes
upset when
over
you're doing
empathy.
it. Yeah, in that aspect, in that I think there's probably a moral imperative to prepares them for life.
Okay. So,
It's beneficial for them.
interesting. So, since you view morality mechanistically, then I guess you wouldn't care too much about like deontology. Like, you would be more consequentialist.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, interesting. So, I mean, like, you have a strong scientific belief in morality, but you don't have like strong opinions on using morality, at least rule-based morality, in our decision makings for like governance and stuff. You would just take a utility route.
Well, you could be a rural utilitarian.
Yeah, but that's bullshit, right?
Why?
Okay, so I looked into this and I'm surprised many people didn't understand this. Deontology and consequentialism are mutually exclusive systems and they don't interact. And if you look into the reason why, if you if you get down to it, like the very lowest levels of decision making and values, when you look into rural utilitarianism or deontology, what all that really means is that whichever system that the other one stop, like it has a hard stop in, it just favors the other system more. So, for example, rural utilitarianism, I believe, is it's where you have utilitarianism until you hit like a hard rule. Now, I think that the reason that happens is because they see the consequences of going past that hard rule would be devastating,
Yeah.
like utility speaking.
Yeah.
Um, all right, all right, okay, but like the core idea of consequentialism is that the ends justify the means, and then the core idea of deontology is that it's the rule itself that is like divine or like important. So those two things are kind of completely antithetical to each other. So the whole idea of like rule
Unless of
utilitarianism,
course you have rural utilitarianism,
yeah, but
which is
like
not
don't you
antithetical
but that, like, how do you explain
because the rule
the
itself leads
contradiction?
to beneficial outcomes.
Exactly, exactly. So it would just be consequentialism, right?
Uh, yes, and
So like
consequentialism and utilitarianism are mutually exclusive of
yeah, so for example, like I would say
conversation.
deontology could fall under consequentialism in the sense that you're only respecting the rule because it's the principle of the matter and you want the masses to also agree with the principle of the matter, which will in term have the best
I would only agree
consequences.
with the principle of the matter if it had beneficial consequences.
Exactly. So then you would be a hard consequentialism, and you would be implementing like this idea of like a divine principle to the people. You would be using psychology to incentivize them to be good people, and that would have good consequences.
Um, I'm not sure exactly where you're going with this. It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Well, all I'm saying is that consequentialism and deontology are mutually exclusive, and that there's a hard line there. And like the idea of like implementing, like if I
Except
said,
for
like
rule
for
utility. I mean,
example,
rule utilitarianism is a disproven concept. Like it's not like an incongruous like thing that's just it doesn't work at all. No, it does work. It is considered a serious framework in the modern sense. It doesn't have a valid disproval mechanism, and I feel like I provided that, but for whatever reason you seem to be stuck that like they're not that rule utilitarianism is just incongruous.
well, the way you explained it before made sense to me. Like for example, like virtue ethics would be this idea of like a third category. But if you look
Rule
at virtue
utilitarianism
ethics,
is just saying that there are certain rules that society must ought follow because if it did not, it would result in worse outcomes. Um, I suppose like a perfect utilitarianism would be best if we had, say, for example, the determinism machine where it has all of the answers to how things would be. In which case, we could come to the best possible outcome out of people because we knew the best outcome. We would just apply the best outcome from a utilitarian worldview. But because we don't, we have to kind of like apply to rules that just generally work. Like, hey, if we do this rule, does it result in beneficial outcomes? Is it better than not having the rule? And the rules is that yeah, it would be better to have this rule than it would be to not adhere to that.
okay. Well, I mean, if you're using that definition, then I would agree with you. I think most people don't take that definition. Um, but yeah, if it's just the ends justify the means, and by the means we're creating a system of rules that are like principles that we're like using the people's psychology to make them
I'm
believe
starting
in
to
a
think
verm.
that like the word utilitarianism is like a trigger word for people. Like they just
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
like the idea
probably.
of utilitarianism. Like they hear utilitarianism and they're just like Nazis, communism,
Well, communism, right? The
Mao
Christian
Zedong, like
nationalists. The Christian
Christian
nationalists would say
nationalism.
that you're a utilitarian, as if it's a pejorative.
Yeah, they're just like, oh God, you're a utilitarian,
Or
therefore
a
bad.
relativist. That's the one. Moral relativist.
That's another one. That's like it's like a bad word to for some reason, even though
Yeah.
like literally everybody operates on moral relativism, want to admit it or not.
Well, yeah. Well, because everybody operates on preferences, and ironically enough, dude, like Andrew Wilson doesn't even realize that every single one of his beliefs relies on his preferences. And yet, if you look at his debates, he always laughs at people because they base
Relying on their
their
preferences.
ideology on their preferences. But that's
Yeah.
what he does.
Well, that's what everybody does, whether you want to
Exactly.
admit it or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he laughs at that.
No, I get my worldview from my make believe God.
Yeah, which
Anyway,
is kind of bullshit. I made a video about him,
it's
and
such a
like his
cop
arguments
out.
are not good.
I
His
I
arguments
think
aren't
I
good.
remember. Yeah, I remember. I think I watched some of it. I didn't. I'll be honest. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I did watch a good deal, at least half.
You
You
watched
know, so
my old one on
I don't know. I don't
because I
know.
created a
Whatever
new
pops up,
one.
I usually watch your videos. I do. Like when they
Thanks,
pop up on
bro.
my feed, I'm like, oh, cool. It's Mr. Kai. Let's watch Mr. Kai. I like
My
Mr. Kai's
videos are not
content.
high quality, so I appreciate that. I
They're
do
all
really.
right. I think they're pretty good.
They're fine.
They're
They're
at least
fine.
worthy of like listening to. I think that's
Yeah, well,
good.
I appreciate that. Yeah, like, oh
Yeah.
my god. But yeah, dude, I'm gonna start making videos
Do you
about
like
like,
my videos? Do you watch any of my videos?
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Are they
dude, I've
just
seen your
trash?
debates. Your debates are good. I usually
Well,
don't
I've
agree
been
with
I've
you,
been
but that's fun.
I've been doing like subtle edits now. Like now all of my videos, whenever there's like a pause or an or or people are like repeating themselves, I just
You get
move
rid of it.
forward. Yeah, I just removed that, so it's just the debate. It's much better.
It's better, but it's also it's so fucking like, what's the word? Annoying. Not annoying, but like editing out every little thing is like so
Oh
annoying.
yeah, no. I mean, dude. So I use Adobe Premiere, and one
Oh
thing that I
shit.
Oh,
do is
tedious.
yeah. So one thing that I do is so there's this. I like fast forward it. I listen to it while it's fast forwarding, and so I just hear it going really really fast,
Oh
and then I'm just
no.
like, all right, there's a pause right there, and I just like quickly like just like I use all the shortcut keys. So I'm just
Control
like
B,
da, da, da,
Control
da,
V.
da. All right, next, keep going, keep going, and it's so thankfully it's pretty quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's yeah, for sure. It's more tedious than just uploading the debate as is.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Have you heard of Jay Dyer? Do you know who that is?
No.
Good for you, bro.
Should I
Good
care?
for you.
I
Holy
don't
shit.
watch
So
a lot of
okay, like
political
imagine this,
YouTubers.
imagine this. Andrew Wilson, but more smug, dumber,
Oh, I
and
love
a
it.
more bad faith debater.
Oh, great.
Wait,
Awesome.
isn't that
All
Sting Ding though?
I don't know, is it?
Stink. I don't know. I think
I don't know who
Stink
that
Duke
guy
just likes
was.
to shit on me for fun.
Who is he? Was he just a
They're
Discord guy?
they're just like a hate troll. They don't like me at all. They just
I
like
mean,
to-
imagine
like to
Andrew
troll.
Wilson, but more smug and stupider.
Oh, okay. I'm getting the picture. I'm getting the picture.
That's hilarious.
Okay, wait, but this is something we would disagree on. I believe a Christian nationalist state is in the lesser of evil governments. It's in the
Are
better
you
form
kidding?
of governance. No, I'm not.
What? How are
No.
revoke your anarchist
Anarchism?
card. Nope, you don't get to
But he
have
hasn't
anarchism.
finished because he didn't compare with something else. Because it's like it's better than, and then you have to
Yeah.
say better than what, right? Because it's better than the Earth being obliterated by nuclear bombs, right?
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
that
exactly,
case, then
exactly.
yeah,
Trump's
it's
nuclear
good.
warfare.
Yes. Yeah.
No, because dude, I made a hierarchy. But like, listen, if you think about it, consequentially speaking, a Christian national state, they would probably have, well, you don't agree with this, but they would probably have lower taxes, less regulation. They would have laws
God.
that
They're
make
so
a little
wrong.
more sense. Hey, I'm not done, bro. I'm not done. They would have
They love tithing. What do you mean?
tithe. Well, they just tax us. They wouldn't need to tithe unless they want to do that separately for
That's
some extra
literally what
bonus.
the tithing is.
It would be forced mandatory tithing.
Yes.
Mandatory church services would go crazy. Bro, do you
That's
want to go to
awful.
church together? We could
No,
we could go to church
not
together.
at all. No, I
Yo,
don't
we'd go to
believe in
the
that
Eastern
nonsense.
Orthodox. Wait, let's go with Andrew Wilson, dude. Ortho
No,
church, bro.
No, I'm good.
We be Ortho bros. Let's become Ortho bros.
Ew.
That'd
That's an
it'd be
actual
great.
word. Why is it like
Ortho bro?
popular to like do this like old fuddy-duddy nonsense?
Wait, I made that up. You don't like that, Ortho bro?
Did somebody?
It's funny.
Wait, did you make that up?
I just made it
Or
up.
is that an actual thing? I feel like
No,
that's an
it's
actual
not.
thing.
Wait, is it really?
Okay, good. I don't know. People are weird, man.
Has
I
the
mean-
sound of an actual thing.
Yeah, I mean it rolls off the tongue. Ortho bro.
Yeah.
That's why it's good. Anyway, no, Christian nationalism. Wait. Christian nationalism is better than liberalism. Prove me wrong.
How are you an anarchist? No, you revoke that card. You don't get that
because
card.
there's more
anymore.
free market. There's more free market.
No,
under
there's
Christian
not.
nationalism. Wait,
Then
prove it. What do you mean?
liberalism?
What are you talking about?
Dude,
Yeah.
can LGBTQ be in the market?
I mean, like they
Yeah,
can
no
just
shit.
put their
Of course
hood
they
up.
can't.
They can just put up their hood, bro.
Yeah, of course they can't. Of course they can't.
Okay,
what kind
that's
of
one
Handmaid's
thing.
Tale shit are you arguing?
That's one.
Oh my
part
god,
of it.
you're an anarchist.
Yes, but I'm
Why are
looking at
you
the
arguing
lesser
in favor of a
evils.
theocracy?
I'm looking at the lesser of evils.
That is not the lesser of evils. That is a much worse evil.
Wait. Can we agree on this?
Christian
Republicanism-
nationalism as opposed to
Whoa.
a secular society.
Wait.
What?
Republicanism.
How are you an anarchist?
Republicanism is better than democracy. No.
Republicanism is democracy. Oh
No,
my
no,
God.
no.
Why are
Wait,
some
wait,
people so uneducated about
Wait, this is
Daniel,
not true. This is
help.
not true.
Daniel,
No.
please help me.
No.
Help. Help him.
Hold on, bro.
Help him. I've
Can he be helped?
Okay. Republicanism is better than democracy because democracy is
Republicanism
you take all
is
the people.
democracy.
No, it's
Well,
different. There's
actually,
direct
they're
democracy.
kind of
It's
not.
a form of democracy.
But look.
I
It's
agree
like when
with
we
you.
mean democracy. But look, when we mean democracy in the modern era, it's like we don't have to get stuck on like Athenian style democracy, right? That hasn't existed for 2,000 years. Okay, it's like it's useless to
Fix
talk
is
about a
trash.
democracy that no longer exists, right? Like
Yeah.
what we have today in this world, like most countries are republics. Like for example, France is a republic, right? It's also a constitutional republic because they have a constitution, right? Not just a republic, a constitutional republic. And they're also a democracy, right? Because it's like these things just refer to like who's ruling. Do you have something that is passed on by heredity to like, to the next generations? And are people actually voting in the people that are representing them, right? And
Yeah.
then you can define it. What type of democracy do you have? Do you have a representative democracy, which is like most countries, or if not all countries that are democracies? Do you have a direct democracy, which happens in a very few places, right? Especially like small places. Yeah, those are things. But in the essence, it's like when people refer to republics today, colloquially, let's be very honest, it's like they do talk about democracies. There's no
Yeah, I
such a
agree with
thing
you.
as a republic in today's age that's not also a democracy.
Yeah, I know. And Plato's Republic was a monarchy. So, like, I agree with you that, colloquially, language changes. But when I'm referring to democracy, I'm saying direct democracy, meaning all the people vote on, I don't know, like a policy or something, which is like extremely wasteful and stupid. And it won't work because a bunch of dumb people are going to vote for a bunch of dumb things. And, since the average IQ of the population is 100, it just wouldn't go well. So republicanism, when we have representatives, democratic or whatever, a representative democracy, whatever, is better slightly because you have slightly more qualified, albeit corrupt, people that vote for things that are generally good for the people. And I actually think the more democratic we get, because if you look at socialism is even more democratic than democracy. The more democratic you get, the worse it gets. And this is why Christian nationalism is actually better, because at the very least, the whole idea of like a philosopher king is better because he has more stake in the game than like a socialistic democracy in the workplace, because all those people are not thinking long term. So I'm right and you're wrong.
Yeah, but then we're going back to your previous thing where it's like the average IQ is 100 and the chances of getting a philosopher king are pretty slim compared to the regular king, which is kind of stupid.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. That's why it's an imperfect system. And that's why apostolic succession doesn't work.
Yeah.
Oh shit, take that, Catholics. But
I mean, there is no perfect system, right, of governance that we know of.
Of course
Well,
there
wait,
is.
I thought it
But
was
we
the lesser
do
of
know
two
of ways to
evils.
make it better. Yeah.
It is the
You
lesser
said
of
it was
two
the
evils.
lesser of two evils. As
Yeah.
opposed to liberalism?
Yes.
Oh my God, you suck.
Look at our nation nowadays. It's your fault.
What
Trump's
about
in
it?
office. It's your fault. You and your stupid
Why-
liberal
no,
ideology. That's the reason Trump's in office.
It's the No Child Left Behind Act and lead paint chips.
No child. Yeah, that's the problem. You care too much. You should have abandoned your empathy.
The No Child Left Behind Act and teaching by the test. That's why. That's unironically why I believe that. That and Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah, true.
I blame
True,
Rupert
true.
Murdoch. I blame No Child Left Behind. I blame teaching to the test. That and paint chips.
Okay, wait.
And
Okay,
other
wait.
lead-based products.
I gotta know. Okay. Socialism or Christian nationalism?
Socialism. It's not even close.
Bro, come on. Are you
Not even
serious?
close.
Bro,
Not even
they would
close.
fall
It's not even
apart. They would
close.
eat each other.
Not even close.
Wait, what
I
do you
mean,
each
like,
What do you
other?
mean? Dude, I'm a socialist. We
But
wouldn't.
maybe, but it's like,
Wait, you are
what kind of
socialist?
socialism? Like, is it like,
Yeah, I'm a
is it like
socialist.
Daniel's type of socialism where he's like, oh, I'm like a democratic
What?
socialist where I like argue for worker rights, but you could still have the private ownership of the means of production with co-ops. Like
So what is that? Just like
that
a
is
bigger
a much
welfare
better
state? I don't.
society than Christian nationalism. Dude, do you know what happens with Christian nationalism?
Bad the crusade.
I'll tell you, yeah, the Crusades also infighting. Also infighting.
Okay,
Every
but that's
freaking
just a
time.
given. That's just a
Anytime
given.
you have
Come on.
anytime you have a theocracy of any kind, it ends up deriving down into sects of specific views of the religion versus sects of another of the specific view of the religion, and then you end up with giant fighting. And then what ends up happening is that one guy ends up being more powerful than the others, and then they just kind of take over, and then the others are kind of left by the wayside, and then they're left bombing each other.
That's true. I mean, they're all kind of warlords.
That happens.
You know, the question is like, who's the most benevolent warlord?
Maybe the liberal one, as opposed to the freaking nightmare theocratic crusade ass Andrew Wilson ass want to keep women in the kitchen ass person. Maybe
I just want to know.
half the population doesn't deserve rights, I guess.
Okay,
Fuck that, dude. Fuck that.
Okay,
I
wait,
like
wait,
that.
okay, wait. Communism or Christian nationalism?
These are both awful. Awful.
Come on, bro.
Is it in a world where communism is even possible?
How about we do yes?
Then yeah, communism. Yeah, communism sounds great.
I guess I'm giving you the answer if I just say yes to communism. Wait, but dude,
No,
how
I'm
are
just
you?
saying. You said like it's like I don't believe communism is possible.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like I just think that like hierarchies are just gonna exist, and it's like you're never gonna divorce out of that. But like if you predicate that like, oh, it's possible that communism could even exist, and the classless, moneyless, stateless society, like you're basically just arguing Star Trek. Like,
That's true.
would you like Star Trek to exist? Yeah, I kind of would. That'd be kind of cool.
Star Trek would be pretty dope. But wait. Here's my point, and like the point I think you should get. If we were like capitalist pigs, okay, 100% capitalist pigs, we would build so much wealth that first of all, the trillionaires would just launch themselves to another planet, and we would get this planet, and we wouldn't even have to look at them,
and
then
so
we'd
you're
be
aware,
so rich.
I don't know
From the
I don't
trickle down
know-
economics.
I am not I'm not against there being rich people. I just think that rich people should pay their fair share.
Okay, yeah. Pay their fair share, yeah. Do the old Biden slogan. The old Bernie slogan.
Yeah. Pay your fair share. Yeah. Dude, you realize that like a majority of what these people go through, they have they're actually paying less in taxes than just like your regular average everyday Joe, because like a majority
Yeah, because they set up the system.
Goes into capital gains and they only pay 15%.
Bro, because they control the system.
Imagine making like, I don't know, $4 million worth of dividends. Pay 15% on that. What?
Yeah, I mean, it's still a shit ton of money, but, well, it would only
$4 million a year is an obscene amount of money.
Well, hold on. I think it's after 400K goes... hold on. After 400K, I think it goes to 20%.
No. It's a capital gains tax.
Yeah, I know. Capital gains hits 20% at 400K.
If you make $4 million in capital gains, the capital gains tax on that 4 million is not a progressive tax rate. It's just 15%.
No, wait, it's 0, 15, and 20, right? I think
no,
it's 0, 15, and 20.
You would only pay.
What?
That's 15.
You saying
flat? You pay 600K out of 4 million. That's what you pay. You have to. You owe that.
What?
And no
wait,
more.
has this changed? I researched this in like the last 2 years. I'm so sure that capital gains tax is 0, 15, and 20.
Tax no matter whatever. If it's $1, it's 15%. If it's $100,000, it's 15%.
The fuck are you talking about, bro?
I'm not messing with you.
Wait. Capital capital gains tax bracket. Here we go. Okay. I mean, we all agree that Google is true and okay, yep, here it is. Long-term capital gains tax. These
Okay,
are
there's a
profits
difference
from
between
selling.
short-term and long-term. I'll grant you that.
Okay, well, wait. Short-term capital gains tax is literally just income. It's just normal income. Anyway, so long-term is 0, 15, and 20% depending on your income level. Now, if I remember it correctly, 0% is 0 to 40,000.
Okay, all right.
And then 15
All right,
is
so it does
40
look like
to 400K.
So it does look like I'm wrong. I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong here.
Baby.
Net capital gains tax are different rates depending on overall taxable income, although all net capital gain may be taxed at 0%. For taxable years beginning in 2024, tax rate on most net capital gain is no higher than 15% for most individuals. So basically, the capital gains tax rate of 15% applies if your taxable income is more than 47,000, but less than or equal to 518,900 single. If it is more than $47,025, but less than or equal to 291,850 for marrying filed separately, more than 94,050, but less than or equal to 583,750 if married joint filing or qualifies as a surviving spouse, and more than 63,000, but less than or equal to 551,000 for heads of household. However, capital gains tax rate of 20% applies to the extent that your taxable income exceeds the threshold set for 15% capital gains rate. Well, guess what? Under the progressive tax rate system, it's higher than that. So, okay, you were right. If it was 4 million, it wouldn't be 15%. It would be 20%.
20, that's right. Give them that 5%, amazing, buddy. Also, I have a question for you.
Yeah, that's still less.
I have a question for you.
What, like
how
a
does
regular
it make
person
you
pays?
How does it make you feel that they're discriminating against incels? How does that make you feel?
What?
The single income bracket is higher than the married. How does that make you feel that they're discriminating against incels? Tell me, how does that make you feel? It
means that people like Andrew Tate can make more money.
But what about the incels who can't get married? Huh? What about them?
That's what I'm saying. There, people like Andrew Tate can make more money.
Oh, you're saying Andrew Tate's incel. Well, that's funny, but yeah, it's not true. Right. Also,
why does that matter?
I don't know. I feel like you totally pivoted from my question in referencing Andrew Tate. That was a total pivot right there. You didn't tell me how you felt, and therefore you lied. You bad faith.
Are you trying to be stink dink right now?
Well, I have to raise my voice up to do that. Okay, hold on. I can't do that.
No, my name is Stink Dink. You're a
wait.
stinky poo poo head.
Wait. The red pill's true.
You have a dildo.
But where is it? That's the question.
It's in my closet.
Wait. Are you against the red pill?
I have it in my closet. Yeah. What?
Bro, the red pill's kind of base, don't you think?
No, it's not.
Wait, you don't?
Do you like the red pill?
Yeah, of course, bro. It's base.
You are not an anarchist. Stop.
What are you talking about? Wait. What red pill ideology?
How dare you call yourself an anarchist?
Well, I'm the true anarchist because I believe in natural hierarchy.
You just argued for theocracy and the red pill. No, you're not. It was the
lesser of two evils, and the red pill doesn't advocate for a state. I'm pretty sure.
Is it them being young? It's got to be them being young. Is it them being young?
Well, I mean,
Daniel, is it them being young?
Well, I mean,
I think it's them being young. I think that's what this is.
I mean,
Andrew Tate is poisoned an entire generation. I'm convinced of that.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of did that. Yes.
I'm so convinced of that. They're just like, whoa, hating women? Based. Whoa, based. Oh, God, liberalism? Oh, being like cool to people and like not being total. Oh, bro, unbased, uncool.
I mean, that was kind of liberals' fault because they basically said men.
How is that liberals' fault?
Because, okay, liberal women's fault. Okay, how about that? They kept saying men are shit, and then men are like, this is.
Well,
totally
they kind of are a lot. a lot of the time. Like,
Yeah, but
unironically, guys suck a lot.
Even
like,
if
you know
that's
what's
true.
wild is that they all say that women are too emotional, yet are completely driven by their emotions of aggression. Totally not acknowledging that both men and women are absolutely emotional creatures.
Well, the funny thing is the men who type that in the chat are probably the emotional ones, but
100%.
But yeah. But that's not to say that most men, I mean, okay, probably most men are emotional, but I mean, women are
I mean, if
more
like
emotional?
no, I disagree. I think that
women are more
women are
stoic?
more. I think probably more appropriate would be to say women are more in tune with their emotions.
That's okay.
That's what I think it is. Yeah,
that's very feminist of you to say.
They're just as emotional. They just show their emotion in different ways. Like women will cry, men will like, I don't know, break things.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, are you not going to break
women
something?
Don't do that. No, not me personally. No, I don't do it. Unless, of course, if I'm playing League of Legends.
Yeah. Well, then, you have to go through a few mouses, a few keyboards once in a while. Especially when you get kicked to silver.
This is why I don't play League of Legends.
Yeah. A whole generation is poisoned. But no, dude, the red pill's all right. Like, if you think about it, it's just telling people to respect themselves and respect women.
It doesn't. It argues the opposite of that. Are you being serious?
Okay. Wait. What if I told you, and what if you believed me? What if I told you that like only 10% of the red pill community was actually red pill, and like 90% of it was like grifters? Would you believe me?
Oh, you mean like Flag Earth? Yeah.
Who? Because I listen to more of the older, who you still definitely would not agree with, but some of the more like originators in the red pill community, some of the older guys who like, I don't know, who are on the old forums and stuff.
Red pill community.
And because they say some good stuff, bro. They say I highly recommend it.
Like what?
Like
hate is love.
What do they? Daniel, help me out. Islam? Yeah, exactly.
Hate is love. Love is hate. Women should be in the kitchen, barefoot,
like just
having
pulling
children.
up. Like what?
Exactly.
What do they like, or what are the gender realism and sexual hierarchies? Men are dominant, logical, and driven by sex, and women are emotional, hypergamous, and driven by security. How is that based?
I'm just kidding, bro.
Do you think women can't be sexual? Do you think women can't be logical? Can women be dominant? They can be all of those things. Can men be emotional? Can they be hypergamous? Can they be driven by security? Yeah. In fact, I'm super driven by security. 100%.
All right,
I mean, look at like the OG
when you get older, you're like, bro, I
think women is gay. So
down pat.
Women is gay. Women is gay. Exactly.
Yeah, dating women is very gay.
Liking women is the gayest thing you can do.
Hypergamy, the belief that women seek to date up in terms of status, wealth, or attractiveness, and will abandon men who do not fulfill their desires. Women always seek to date up in terms of status, wealth, or attractiveness. That's
kind of true. You would say that's true, right?
No.
What do you mean no?
No, just have like a personality that people like.
Bro, if you were the same way, but there was a version of you that had a 6-pack, who do you think the girl would go for?
I mean, I suppose they'll go for the one with the 6-pack that has the same exact personality, but having a good personality goes a really long way.
I agree with you, but I think it's a confluence of factors.
Look, listen, if you want to do well, I'm going to tell you the fucking secret. You ready for the secret? This is so fucking easy. It's the easiest thing you could possibly do. Ready?
I need a girlfriend.
Here you go. You ready? Here's how you do it. You ready?
Uh-huh.
You ready? Listen to what she says. And then reciprocate what she says. And be genuine about it. Be genuine and nice about it.
Scientific.
Like what you do is, right, is you actually try to be interested in what they're interested in. And then you just let them talk, and then you reciprocate.
See?
That's it, dude.
Bro.
That's it.
That is very gay of you, though.
Date
That's super gay.
date 3, you are in her bed. Date 3, guarantee. I
It's a
promise you.
Bro,
Yeah.
look, you're a red pillar, bro. You got
That's
this.
not a red pillar. I'm just saying, like, just talking, like, don't you sit there and
I heard
talk about
smile and
yourself the whole
wave.
time. Just
I
talk
heard
about them.
I heard smile and wave. And yeah, I heard smile and wave. That's what I heard. And then day 3,
Hi.
you win.
So what are you into? And then when they start talking about what they're into,
yeah.
you reciprocate
No, what are
what they're
you
into.
into?
Don't make it about you. Just talk about them. And then boom, it's like
Exactly.
magic. It's like
Right.
magic.
Look, you're a red
Everybody
pillar.
likes it when you talk about
Bro,
them.
you have to
Wow.
make a red pill channel. What are you doing? You have to make a red pill channel.
It's not a red
You're
pill.
missing out.
That's just
You're
This is
missing out on the
basic
big
dating
bucks. What are you
advice.
doing?
it's just basic dating advice. It's stupid.
You're missing out on the big bucks.
Okay. Let's see what else. The sexual marketplace. Dating and relationships are viewed as
Oh,
a
come on, that's true.
marketplace
That's
where
just
people-
obviously true.
No.
Come on.
No.
Oh, come on.
No, just like have like a likable personality. All
I
of
mean,
this
that's
goes
like
away
one thing.
by like being a likable person.
Yeah, okay, that's one thing. You gotta have
No,
more than that.
that's the thing.
No.
Yes. Daniel, dude, someone please.
But women like.
Am I wrong?
I know, man.
There's
They
no way
make
I'm
a lot
wrong.
of
I'm not
sense to
wrong.
me, you know? As a 45-year-old guy that's married with 2 kids, that makes a lot of
Uh-huh.
sense if you want to stay a virgin.
I. Yeah,
Wait,
but I
what
bet
I
you smile and
said?
wave a lot.
No, their ideology. If you want to stay a virgin, just believe all those things. It's just
All right.
believe in like the sexual
Feminism
marketplace.
is destructive.
Ah.
Red pill communities argue that feminism has brainwashed society, made women entitled, destroyed traditional relationships. I got news for you. If you bring this up in a date, you're done. That is surefire way where a girl goes, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Wait, I can't talk about how alpha I am? Are you serious?
No, yeah, don't
Yeah,
do
but
that.
you don't see the upside,
don't,
Amender.
Don't
Wait,
do
if you want
that.
to hear
The
about
upside
my
is that-
alpha
Don't do that.
stories,
Don't do that.
how I
Don't do
mocked
that.
the boy at the gym, you know?
Okay, let's see here. Men are disadvantaged in modern society. Belief that men are fairly treated in family court, education, and domestic abuse cases. That might be true if you're like talking about 2012. But honestly, at the end of the day, when it comes to like things like custody battles, ultimately what matters is like what's beneficial to the child. And trust me, if the mother is like abusive in any way, they're definitely going to side with you. Like they're just going to side with you, period. So no, wrong. Let's see here. Alpha beta dichotomy. This is so
Yes,
Be
the
like
good
a person.
stuff.
Whoa, they forgot the sigma or what?
The
Where's the
sigma.
sigma?
The sigma,
brother.
bro.
What's that?
That's very old school with the alpha
What's
beta.
that,
No.
brother?
Brother,
Is Omega? Is Omega or no? It's a sigma. It's sigma.
Just
Sigma is
stop.
the best.
Just stop. Just not. If anybody who says
What's the
I've
Omega
ne-
now?
an alpha is never going to use the word alpha and beta. They're just never going to do that. They're just going to like be a person and then
A
that's
few
it.
more
That's the
Greek
whole thing.
letters, and they will be good at calculus. Okay.
Yeah.
At calculus?
Just-
Yes.
Wait, I suck at math. Is that a problem?
That's their long-term project. You know, getting all the insults to be really good mathematicians.
Red pill. You better be good
Save
at
the world.
math if you plan on getting the girl.
Fuck. It's over for me, isn't it?
Yeah. Like if you're like, let's say for example, if you're taking her home
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and you're walking down the sidewalk and then there's
Yeah.
like the right angle curve to her house.
Uh-huh.
If you did not take the hypotenuse, you're never getting in her.
Wait, which side is the hypotenuse? Daniel, which side is the hypotenuse?
The long
I'm
one.
blanking, bro.
The long one.
The long one. Wait, which one's the long one? Isn't the hypotenuse?
What do you mean? The hypotenuse is the longest segment in a.
Oh wait, is the hypotenuse the longest
here,
right,
here, I'll show you.
triangle?
right wing
I'll show, here,
triangle.
I'll
Yes.
show you the picture.
Wait, I know what a right angle is. It's like 45 degrees, right? It's like a box.
I'll show you the
No,
picture.
it's 90
Hold
degrees.
On.
Fuck.
Hold on, I'll show you the picture. Where the fuck?
You really are bad at math. You're not.
You're
joking.
bad at math.
All right, here, I'll show you. This is really funny. Do you guys see my here? I'm gonna.
Yes.
Why is it doing that? Why would it do such a thing?
Just
Why
like
is
make it bigger.
tiny? No, that's incorrect.
That's what she
no,
said.
it's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. Hold on, I gotta do.
Just
it
cover
again.
your face.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's what she said also.
There
Haha.
it is. See?
That's what he said to her. No, it's not. He wouldn't want that.
What do you think of the comic?
Okay, that looks like a radius.
Yeah.
Wait,
No,
what is happening?
What?
A radius.
What radius?
Wait, tell me I'm wrong. I'm not.
You're never gonna get
You
a
are
girl
wrong.
trying to bring it up. Radius is it a triangle?
Ugh, there goes that. Nice, dude.
There goes Pythagora. It's like, fuck that guy.
That's really funny. This is really
this is
funny.
a joke. That's
This is
and you
so
say I'm never
funny,
gonna get
dude.
a girlfriend, bro.
That's for nerds. No,
Bro.
that's
No,
a
no.
nerd
I was
joke.
saying,
Come
I
on.
was saying, if you're taking her home and then you're walking down the sidewalk and then you have to like turn down the sidewalk in that 90-degree angle. If you're not taking the hypotenuse, you're never getting in her pants.
No, trust me. If you have a big dick, it doesn't matter what you're taking.
You just gotta.
It doesn't matter the hypotenuse size you do. Wait, how would you know? I'm just kidding.
She will know. You see, that's
She will
exactly
know.
the question of somebody that doesn't have a big
She
dick.
will-
Okay,
she
because if you have a
will
big dick,
know.
she will know. Okay,
She will
She will
know.
know.
nobody that has a big
Oh,
dick ever
no.
questions whether or not she will know. She will know.
It's all. I'm telling you, man. Your foreplay game goes a long way. That's the move. That's the move.
Are you
sticking to it?
So if I'm a nice guy, do I get a girlfriend? Is that how it goes?
I didn't say anything about being a nice guy. Don't be a pushover. Nobody likes a pushover. Like, obviously, you're not a
Oh, okay.
pushover. Like, I'm not arguing. Go be a pushover and just only say nice things to her. Just literally just talk about her. She'll be happy.
Okay, I'll talk to her. I mean, I'll talk about her.
Yeah, like don't talk about your interests. Talk about what she's into, right? And if you don't know about the
Yeah.
interest,
Got it. So talk about making
try to
sandwiches,
learn.
okay.
Try to learn about the interest.
Appeal to her
I'll try to-
narcissism. Okay,
Got it. So we'll talk
Dude,
about
everybody
making
has a
sandwiches, okay.
certain level.
Got it.
There's a certain level.
of course.
The only way that this wouldn't work is if, like, I don't know, they're hyper and they're just going to be like, I'm not. Why are you talking to me? Like,
Well-
they might ask you more about yourself. In which case, talk about yourself if they ask for it.
No, I gotta redirect conversation back to her, obviously.
Well, no. If they're asking about you, talk about yourself.
Okay, I'll tell her about my
Then-
KD ratio
Then
and Modern Warfare 3.
do it briefly and then talk about her.
Got it.
Right?
I mean,
and
I
try to
think-
be genuine. Don't be like, oh wow, that's so interesting, and be like not interested at all.
Got it. So fake interest,
You know?
even better. Got it.
No.
I mean, that could be a good advice. Also, it's like if you're really good at faking,
You
the
could,
interest,
you
then,
could technically fake it and it would still work. But it works better if you try to be genuine.
Oh, it's
That's
just
true.
simpler.
Okay.
You know, that's
Try
all.
my best to be
That's
genuine.
Sigma energy.
And if it doesn't work.
to just lie, I guess.
There you go.
Yes.
Just
that's
like
the
be a
Sigma
literal,
energy.
just be like a literal fucking sociopath, I guess.
Exactly.
I gotta talk about her so that way I get into her pants.
Exactly.
You can't
I mean-
talk about them like they're a person.
Yeah, who would do that? It's a woman, bro.
Well, you're laughing, but there's people even in this server that probably don't think women are actual humans.
It's terrible.
Well,
I mean,
I
no,
mean-
red pill, bro.
I mean,
Oh God, my red pills.
Got to take my red pills.
I gotta get you my red pills.
I don't know.
You guys ever seen The Matrix?
I think the red. Well, it's a great analogy. What are you talking about? It's a great
So
analogy.
stupid. Anytime I
It's
hear
just-
somebody bring up The Matrix, like philosophically, I'm just like, bro, kill me. Actually, just kill me.
I mean, philosophically speaking, it's just the brain in the vat, right? Like that's just what it is.
Well, not really. It's Descartes' demon more.
Yeah, but Descartes, Descartes' demon and the brain in the
Damn
vat
it.
aren't super.
Damn
different.
it!
They kind of
No
are.
matter. You suck. You suck at living.
I'm trying.
No, that game looks hard.
No, I just Amender not being that good.
Shut up, Daniel.
Look, he died. You made him die. That's funny.
You see,
what
somebody that's
says,
good at the
"My
game
big
wouldn't
dick
die in those
causes
conditions.
pain for some women, so there's a balance." Oh,
Yeah, for sure.
he's so big.
For sure, bro.
dick.
For sure. Oh god. No, okay, so here I think the red pill is good for men who romanticize
No.
women.
No, I
Yes.
think the red pill is a fucking nightmare, and run as far as you can.
Well, it depends who you listen to because some of them are wrong. Some of them are just like
no,
women
it's
bad.
Just, no, the whole thing is just awful.
No, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I can't do it.
What? Yeah, like it's like literally a vat of fucking acid, and you're just like bathwater.
There's still some good.
You're like the
there's still
worst
some good
thing ever,
particles.
and you're just like, this is fine. I think
There's still some good particles.
you can chemically break it down into H3.
Now, look, if somebody tells you when you're talking about red pill, if they tell you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, you just have to tell them like, honey, that's not water, that's sulfuric acid, and the baby is already dissolved in it.
Okay. So the baby and the acid are one now.
Yeah,
It's
like
called,
that's a solution, right?
dude,
it's like a
it's
chemical solution.
Osmosis.
I don't think you realize how bad like the red pill.
It has nothing to do with osmosis.
Really,
Okay, don't please.
It's literally a nightmare. it's awful.
You know, as a chemist, you're triggering me if you're doing that.
That's
please,
the one
just
thing I
don't.
remember from my lab in college is like osmosis. I don't even remember what it means. Isn't osmosis the opposite of dilution?
No, it has nothing to do with it. It's about the transfer of substances through a membrane that's only permeable to like specific types of substances, right? So, for example, you could have a solution, let's say, of water and table salt,
I
right?
triggered him.
And you could have a membrane, and when that solution of water and table salt passes through the membrane, only the water passes, but the salt is actually being retained. You know, the table salt, sorry, is being retained on the other side, right? So it's like when the solution is passing through that membrane, you're going to have water on one side and the table salt on the other.
That's so useful.
Well, it is. It's happening in our bodies all the time.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I said it.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
Disappearing on me.
so yeah, the red pill's cool.
Awful.
Yeah. No, true. All right. Well, I mean, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I know you're doing a call and show and all that stuff.
I mean, the show's pretty much over.
Yep.
Yeah, we kind of took up all the time, I took up all the time,
Okay.
didn't I?
It's okay. I have unprompted days.
That's good.
We have
That's
more
good.
of these. We have plenty of these. Huh?
That's true.
Yeah,
Every
anybody can
Thursday.
call in.
Every Thursday.
Every Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. I keep
6
dying to this thing.
EC. Well, listen, dude, it's your fault for playing a video game while talking to people. You're a man. You can't multitask. That's for women.
That's not true.
Uh-huh.
That is not true. I can absolutely
sure.
play a game while it just it depends on the game. It's entirely dependent on the game. A game like Hollow Knight, I can kind of like just use like the motor skills and just kind of like turn brain off.
Yeah, it's a little instinctual. I can see that.
Fuck. And by instinctual, I mean like I instinctually suck at it.
Did you did you play the League game that was what was this? It's not a side scroller, but it's like a top down shooter. Did you remember that, the League game that came out? Did you ever play that?
No.
Oh, it was like a top down. It's not like Hollow Knight. It's like one of those like Brotato. You ever heard of Brotato?
No.
Bro, it's Daniel, explain. Use osmosis.
What? What do you mean?
Okay, it's like a top-down shooter where it's like you're
Josh
looking
was-
down on them.
Oh, I
and
know
they're
Brotato.
shooting.
Yeah, I know Brotato.
Yeah,
It's pretty
yeah,
good,
yeah.
actually.
So like, there's a league
BRB,
version of that.
Give me a quick second. So here's the thing, right?
Uh-huh.
We're gonna hang up this call, and I'm gonna take one more call for tonight. So, in fact, I just have to use the bathroom real quick. Okay.
Okay. Well. Let me say my goodbyes. Don't leave. Okay. It was good
Well, I
talking
can
to
still
you, bro.
hear you. It was good talking to you
Huh?
too. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Say your
Okay.
goodbyes. I gotta go to
All right.
bed.
You can leave if you can hear me. Yep. So thanks for having me on. As you all know, First Amender, a proud Christian nationalist, is doing his best to preach to us the wise ways of the world, and he's trying to help us become a more Christian nation. He has divine revelation, and because of this, he wants to forward us towards the nation that God wants for us. To he's sort of
Amen,
like
brother.
King Solomon. He's sort of like King Solomon in that way, where
Hallelujah.
he had a mean dad, but he overcame all that, and he's doing good for society, and he's joining with the Eastern Ortho Bros, and I will be joining him shortly because the way, the truth, and the life is where we're headed.
He is ortho-pilled. Yeah, that's for sure.
Ortho-pilled, yo, that's a good one.
Yeah.